Welcome back to the channel, collectors and history lovers. Today, we dive into the remarkable world of Let's Get the Start at Top 5. First up, the 1930 Buffalo nickel, one of America's most iconic 5-cent treasures. In this video, we uncover its full story, its rich history, powerful symbolism, and the surprising big dollar value it holds in today's market. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just beginning your coin collecting journey, get ready to explore a true masterpiece of American coinage. Let's begin the adventure. In the world of American coinage, few pieces capture the imagination of collectors more than the legendary Buffalo nickel. And among all the dates and mintages, the 1930 Buffalo nickel stands out as a powerful symbol of American history, artistry, and unexpected modern value. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible story behind this iconic 5-cent coin, why it was created, the secrets of its design, the role it played during the Great Depression, and how some rare examples have soared to big dollar prices in today's coin market. So sit back, relax, and get ready to explore a journey through time as we uncover why the 1930 Buffalo nickel remains one of the most admired collectible coins in American numismatics. To truly understand the importance of the 1930 issue, we must travel back to 1913 when the Buffalo nickel series was first introduced. At that time, the United States Mint was undergoing a transformation, aiming to replace outdated designs with stunning works of art that expressed national pride. Sculptor James Earl Fraser, a student of the famous Augustus St. Gaudens, was chosen to create the new 5-cent coin. Fraser wanted the design to reflect the rugged American frontier, honoring both the Native American tribes and the wildlife that once dominated the Great Plains. His vision gave birth to one of the most beloved designs in U.S. history, the proud Native American profile on the obverse and the mighty American bison on the reverse. The year 1930 was a dramatic time in American history. The nation was in the early grip of the Great Depression, and coin production saw major fluctuations as the economy weakened. The 1930 Buffalo nickel was minted only at the Philadelphia Mint, meaning there is no mint mark on this coin. While the mintage was fairly high, just over 22 million pieces, the economic hardship caused many Americans to hold onto their coins longer, meaning fewer high-grade examples survived. This is one of the reasons why collectors today value sharp, well-preserved 1930 Buffalo nickels far more than worn examples. Every detail of the 1930 Buffalo nickel tells a story. The Native American portrait on the front was not modeled after a single person, but rather a blend of 3 chiefs from different tribes, Iron Tail, 2 Moons, and possibly John Big Tree. This powerful profile represents the strength and dignity of indigenous cultures. On the back, Fraser chose the mighty buffalo, believed to be inspired by Black Diamond, a bison once displayed at the Bronx Zoo. The design's rugged details, braids, feathers, fur texture, and weathered surfaces make the 1930 Buffalo nickel an artistic masterpiece, unlike any other American coin of its time. Because Buffalo nickels circulated heavily for decades, most 1930 examples you find today are worn, scratched, or flattened. The date especially is known for fading away, because it was placed on a raised area that wore down easily. Many coins lost their date completely, becoming dateless buffaloes. This natural wear makes sharp, fully dated, high-grade 1930 nickels extremely valuable, as these rare survivors show the remarkable details of Fraser's original artwork. Collectors love the 1930 Buffalo nickel for many reasons. It represents the golden era of U.S. coin design, the hardships of the Depression, and the frontier spirit of early America. This combination of history and beauty keeps demand strong year after year. Mature collectors, beginners, and even investors search for high-grade pieces because they know the market value keeps rising steadily. Now let's talk about today's value. A typical worn 1930 Buffalo nickel may sell for only a few dollars, but the real excitement begins with well-preserved pieces. Good G to fine F condition, $2 to $8. Very fine VF, $10 to $25. Extremely fine XF, $30 to $70. About uncirculated AU, $80 to $150. Mint State MS 6063, $175 to $300. High Mint State MS 6466, $350 to $2,000. Premium Gem MS 67 and above. These can bring $5,000 to over $20,000, depending on luster, strike, and eye appeal. Auction records show that top-graded 1930 Buffalo nickels have sold for astonishing prices, proving that even a humble 5-cent coin can become a major treasure. So why does the value skyrocket for certain 1930 coins? The answer lies in strike sharpness, mint brilliance, and absence of scratches. Buffalo nickels were notoriously hard to strike fully, and many coins left the mint with soft details. A perfectly sharp example, full detail in the hair braid, horn, and buffalo fur, is extremely rare. Collectors pay a premium for these scarce perfect strikes. The 1930 Buffalo nickel doesn't have as many famous errors as other dates, but certain minor variations, die cracks, die polish lines, and slight doubling can boost value. Even subtle minting oddities can transform a coin from ordinary to collectible gold. With rising demand for classic American coins, the 1930 Buffalo nickel is considered a smart long-term investment. High-grade pieces have shown steady growth in value over the last 2 decades. As fewer quality examples remain available, prices will likely continue climbing. Many collectors buy these coins not only for their beauty but also as a secure piece of American history. More than just a coin, the 1930 Buffalo nickel reflects the spirit of a nation, its struggles, its hope, and its heritage. It stands as a powerful reminder of the people who shaped America and the wildlife that once roamed its plains. This emotional connection is why the Buffalo nickel remains one of the most admired designs ever minted. Whether you're a new collector or a seasoned numismatist, the 1930 Buffalo nickel offers something special. Its affordability at lower grades means anyone can start collecting, while rare mint-state pieces excite elite investors. This broad appeal keeps the 1930 issue in constant demand. So the next time you come across a Buffalo nickel, especially a 1930, take a moment to appreciate its history, its artwork, and its journey through nearly a century of American life. What began as a simple 5-cent piece now stands as a treasured collectible that continues to rise in today's market. And who knows, you might be holding a small masterpiece worth far more than you ever imagined. Next up today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic American coins ever minted, the 1938 Buffalo nickel, a legendary piece known not only for its rich historical background but also for its surprising market value in today's collector world. This is not just a coin. It's a symbol of American heritage, artistry, and the end of an unforgettable era. The story of the 1938 Buffalo nickel begins long before its final minting year. Introduced in 1913, the Buffalo nickel, also called the Indian head nickel, was created by sculptor James Earl Fraser. He aimed to capture the true spirit, strength, and rugged beauty of early America. The obverse of the coin features a powerful Native American profile, inspired by a combination of real tribal chiefs whom Fraser met personally. The reverse showcases the majestic American buffalo believed to be modeled after Black Diamond, a bison from the Bronx Zoo. Together, these images created one of the most culturally rich and visually striking coins in U.S. history. But by 1938, the Buffalo nickel had reached the end of its long journey. After 25 years, the minimum legal period before a coin could be redesigned, the U.S. Mint decided to retire the Buffalo nickel and replace it with the Jefferson nickel design. This decision made 1938 the final year the Buffalo nickel would ever be minted, instantly giving this year special importance for collectors. Unlike earlier years, the 1938 issue was produced only in the Denver Mint, carrying the iconic D mint mark. Even though fewer Buffalo nickels were made in the last year compared to earlier high-mintage years, the 1938 edition holds a powerful sentimental value. It represents the end of a legendary chapter in American numismatic history. Every surviving coin from this year is a symbol of closing traditions, shifting times, and a nation moving forward while remembering its roots. Today, the value of a 1938 Buffalo nickel continues to rise, especially for coins preserved in higher grades. While millions were produced, very few survived in superb condition due to circulation, wear, and natural aging. Collectors search intensely for sharp strikes, clean surfaces, and strong details showing the Native American profile and the bison's fur. In the current market, even an average circulated 1938 Buffalo nickel can earn respectable value, but the true treasure lies in mint-state examples. A brilliant uncirculated specimen, graded or higher, can sell for hundreds of dollars, and exceptional gem examples can soar even higher depending on luster, strike quality, and certification. Some of the finest known pieces have reached over $1,000 at auction due to their historical importance, aesthetic beauty, and the simple fact that they mark the very last Buffalo nickel ever struck. Collectors value the 1938D as a must-have key piece for completing full Buffalo nickel sets, and the fascination around this final year issue continues to grow each year. Collectors today admire the 1938 Buffalo nickel not only for its increasing market value but also for the emotional story it carries. It stands as a final salute to the rugged American West, to Native American heritage, and to the iconic bison that once roamed the Great Plains. The design is considered one of the most artistic ever created for U.S. currency. Many collectors describe it as a miniature piece of sculpture, not just a coin. Its last-year status makes it feel like a turning point when the old chapter closed and a new one began with the Jefferson nickel. For these reasons, the 1938 Buffalo nickel remains one of the most beloved and sought-after coins in numismatic history. As we hold the 1938 Buffalo nickel in our hands, we're not just looking at a 5-cent coin, we're holding a piece of American identity, a piece of artistic legacy, and a treasure whose value continues to rise in today's competitive collector market. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a beginner starting your journey, this final year Buffalo nickel is a coin that truly stands out in beauty, rarity, and historical power. Next up, in today's video, we dive deep into one of the most fascinating and highly collectible American nickels in U.S. coinage history, the 1945 P. Jefferson nickel, also known as one of the famous wartime silver nickels. This coin may look small and ordinary to an untrained eye, but collectors all over the world know that it holds incredible historical importance, unique metal properties, and surprisingly high value in today's numismatic market. Whether you found one in your old family collection, inherited a set of coins, or simply love rare American currency, the 1945 P. Jefferson nickel remains one of the most rewarding discoveries for coin enthusiasts. So let's explore its history, features, wartime role, scarcity, grading rarity, and the impressive price collectors are paying today. The story of the 1945 P. Jefferson nickel begins with the entire Jefferson nickel series, introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix, the new design honored the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, symbolizing democracy, architecture, and national heritage. The coin featured a classical portrait of Jefferson on the obverse and his iconic home, Monticello, on the reverse. The series would run for decades, but the coins produced between 1942 and 1945 stand apart as some of the most unique nickels in U.S. history due to their wartime silver composition. In 1942, during World War II, the U.S. government needed large amounts of nickel metal for military equipment. Nickel was a critical metal used to strengthen armor and weapons. To conserve nickel for war production, the U.S. Mint made a historic change. It removed nickel from the 5-cent coin and replaced it with a special wartime alloy of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. This composition created the famous wartime Jefferson silver nickels, and the 1945 P nickel is the final year of this special silver series. One of the easiest ways to identify a 1945 P Jefferson nickel is the large P mint mark placed above Monticello on the reverse. This was the first time in U.S. history that the Philadelphia Mint used the letter P on a circulating coin. It was done intentionally so the public could separate the silver wartime coins from the regular ones. Today, this bold mint mark is one of the defining features that makes the 1945 P nickel so instantly recognizable and desirable among collectors. The year 1945 marked the end of World War II and the final production year of silver nickels. The 1945 P is special because it represents the conclusion of an important chapter in American coinage. Millions of these coins entered circulation during the war, carried by soldiers, families, and workers across the nation. Many remained in pockets, machines, and military bases, unknowingly becoming small metal witnesses to one of the most challenging eras in world history. The Philadelphia Mint produced 119,408,100 coins in 1945, which may seem like a high number, but collectors know that finding this coin in high mint state condition, especially in or full steps designation, is extremely difficult. Most coins circulated heavily during the war years, making clean, sharp examples rare. That scarcity in top conditions is what drives today's impressive auction prices. One of the most valuable classifications for Jefferson nickels is the full step strike. This refers to the crisp, complete detail found on the steps of Monticello. Because wartime silver nickels were softer and struck quickly for mass production, finding a 1945 P with full uninterrupted steps is incredibly rare. Full steps examples can bring huge premiums at auctions, making them some of the most sought-after coins in the entire Jefferson nickel series. Collectors adore the 1945 P nickel, not only for its rarity, but for what it represents. This small 5-cent piece carries within it the story of American sacrifice, innovation, and resilience during World War II. Every silver nickel created between 1942 and 1945 symbolized the nation's determination to support the war effort. Even today, owning a 1945 P nickel feels like holding a piece of wartime history in your hands. Because the 1945 P nickel contains 35% real silver, the coin carries an intrinsic metal value in addition to its collectible value. Even in the lowest condition, the silver alone makes it worth more than a regular nickel. During periods when silver prices rise, collectors see increasing demand for wartime nickels, making them an especially attractive investment. Collectors frequently rely on for accurate information about rarity, history, pricing trends, and grading populations. According to data, high-grade 1945p nickels become significantly rare starting at MS66 and above. Graded coins are often preferred among serious collectors because certification ensures authenticity, grade accuracy, and long-term value stability. Today, the market for the 1945p Jefferson nickel is strong, especially for certified pieces. Here is a general value guide. Circulated condition, $2, $8. Uncirculated, $10, $30. High grade, $45, $90. Gem, $120, $260. Premium, $800, $2,500 plus dollars. Full steps FS, $1,500 over $10,000 at top grades. Auction records show that exceptional coins with perfect strike and eye appeal can bring thousands of dollars, proving that the 1945p nickel is truly one of the most valuable wartime nickels ever made. Collectors admire this coin because it combines wartime history, a unique metal composition, a distinctive mint mark, and excellent investment potential. Its silver content gives it added desirability, while the connection to WWII provides emotional and historical value. For many collectors, completing the wartime nickel set, 1942p, 1942s, 1943p, 1943d, 1943s, 1944p, 1944d, 1944s, and 1945p, remains a milestone in building a meaningful U.S. coin collection. The 1945p Jefferson nickel stands today as a timeless tribute to American history and resilience. It remains one of the most collected and studied nickels ever produced by the United States Mint. Whether preserved in a premium holder included in a wartime set or displayed in a collector's showcase, the 1945p continues to attract attention for its beauty and its story. If you ever come across a 1945p wartime silver Jefferson nickel, consider yourself lucky, because you're holding a rare combination of silver, history, and collectible potential. With rising demand and growing interest in wartime coinage, the value of this nickel continues to climb in today's market. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more rare coin videos. Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and keep discovering the treasures hidden in everyday pocket change. Next up, the 1944p Jefferson nickel is one of the most historically significant coins produced by the United States Mint during the 20th century. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint in the middle of World War II, this coin belongs to the series known as wartime nickels, issued from 1942 through 1945. These special nickels were born from a national emergency. The U.S. government urgently needed nickel metal for military production, especially for armor plating, engines, weapon casings, and other critical wartime equipment. Because the standard 5-cent coin was made of 25% nickel, the Treasury had to find a way to remove this strategic metal from circulating coinage without disrupting commerce. Thus, in late 1942, the Mint introduced a temporary alloy composed of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese, creating the unusual silver nickel, a coin that looks like a normal nickel but contains real precious metal. Every 1944p nickel belongs firmly in this historic wartime alloy era. The year 1944 was one of the most intense periods of World War II, marked by the Normandy landings, the liberation of Paris, fierce Pacific battles, and a massive mobilization of American industry. During this time, the Philadelphia Mint served as the primary engine of coin production, rapidly creating wartime nickels to keep commerce steady while conserving valuable metals. Unlike regular pre-1942 nickels, these coins bear a highly visible mint mark placed above Monticello on the reverse side. The large P identifies the Philadelphia Mint and marks the first time in American history that Philadelphia used a mint mark. This bold placement was deliberate. The Mint wanted people to quickly distinguish the silver wartime alloy from earlier nickel-based coins. As a result, the large mint mark has become one of the iconic features collectors associate with wartime coinage. Design-wise, the 1944p nickel continues the classic imagery of the Jefferson Nickels series, originally introduced in 1938. The obverse displays a profile portrait of Thomas Jefferson, designed by sculptor Felix, emphasizing Jefferson's statesmanlike features and his important place in American history. On the reverse, Schlag's depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, remains the centerpiece, symbolizing the ideals of the early republic. However, the wartime alloy often produced coins with a slightly different luster and coloration, sometimes appearing duller, sometimes displaying a faint gray or light golden tone due to the high silver content. These visual differences, combined with the distinctive mintmark placement, make the 1944p easily recognizable to both historians and collectors. Because these coins contain 35% silver, they have long been valued not only as historic relics but also as pieces of precious metal currency. Millions were produced, over 119 million in 1944, but many were later removed from circulation when people realized wartime nickels were silver. As a result, truly high-grade, well-preserved examples are scarcer today. The softness of the alloy caused many 1944p nickels to wear quickly, develop contact marks, or show weak strikes, especially on Monticello's steps. Finding a coin with strong detail, full steps, and minimal wear can be challenging, contributing to its desirability in the collecting world. In American numismatics, the 1944p Jefferson nickel stands as a vivid reminder of how national crisis shapes even the smallest everyday objects. It represents a time when citizens, industries, and the government adjusted their habits and resources to support the war effort, right down to the metal in their pocket change. Every surviving example is a link to the 1940s home front experience: rationing, military production, sacrifice, and unity. For this reason, collectors often view the 1944p wartime nickel not simply as a 5-cent piece, but as a tiny, tangible artifact of American resilience during one of the most consequential periods in world history. Next up, the 1943 Jefferson P. nickel occupies a special place in American numismatic history because it was struck during one of the most critical moments of the century, the height of World War II. In the early 1940s, the United States military urgently needed nickel, an element essential for producing armor plating, military equipment, and especially certain types of steel for the war effort. Since the standard U.S. nickel coin was composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, continuing to use nickel for everyday coinage was seen as wasteful in wartime. In 1942, Congress authorized a temporary change in the coin's composition so that the nation could conserve this vital metal. The result was the creation of the wartime silver nickels, produced from late 1942 through 1945, which replaced nickel with a special alloy of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese. This alloy allowed the mint to save strategically important nickel while still producing durable coins that could circulate normally. The Jefferson nickel design itself had been introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Sculptor Felix won a national competition to design the new coin, producing a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and a depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's home, on the reverse. When the mint changed the coin's metal content in 1942, the design largely remained unchanged, but one important feature was added: a large mint mark placed directly above Monticello on the reverse. This was done so workers and banks could easily distinguish the silver wartime nickels from normal nickels. For the first time in United States history, the Philadelphia Mint used a mint mark, represented by a large capital P, making the 1943p nickel historically significant both for its composition and for its mint mark innovation. The year 1943 was one of the peak production years for wartime nickels, and millions were struck to ensure the nation had sufficient low-value coinage during the heavily rationed wartime economy. Citizens at the time were aware that coins looked slightly different. The larger mint mark and the ever-so-slightly duller gray color made these nickels easy to spot in everyday commerce. Many people saved them as curiosities, not only because of their silver content but also because they represented a small physical reminder of the shared sacrifices Americans made during the war. Even soldiers carried them overseas, and these coins circulated around military bases, factories, and rationing offices throughout the country. The alloy, although containing silver, was intentionally chosen to prevent hoarding. It didn't shine like a traditional silver coin and did not resemble dimes or quarters. Nonetheless, collectors later came to appreciate their intrinsic silver value. As World War II came to an end in 1945, the mint once again restored the original copper-nickel alloy and removed the large mint marks from above Monticello. The wartime silver nickels, including the 1943p, quickly became relics of a very specific historical moment. Over the decades, many were melted down for their silver content, reducing the number of surviving examples. Others remained in circulation into the 1950s and early 1960s, slowly disappearing as collectors recognized their uniqueness. Today, the 1943 Jefferson nickel is valued not only for its silver composition, but also for the story it tells about American industry, resource conservation, and the adaptability of the U.S. Mint during wartime. It embodies the intersection of economics, national security, and numismatics, showing how even the smallest coin can carry a profound historical legacy.